everybody. So for the past couple of days, we've been working on adding and subtracting integers, and we've saw the connection between them. We've used a number line in order to help us solve problems involving them, and discovered all of these rules that I have listed here. These are all super important. These sets of notes are going to be really helpful for you. So make sure you maybe highlight these, star these, so that they stick out to you, because you are going to be using them a lot. So we have rules for adding integers with the same signs, adding integers with different signs, subtracting integers rules. Really, it's just to turn it into adding integers, and then follow these. And then this is how we turn subtraction into addition. You know, adding a positive is the same as subtracting a negative. Adding a negative is the same as subtracting a positive. So again, all of these are the rules that we've come up with over the past few days, and they're going to be really important and helpful for when we are solving our problems. Because the goal for today is to learn how to add and subtract integers without the use of a number line. As you can see, we're working with big numbers now that are going to go way off of our number lines that we've been using. So we have to be able to not use that number line anymore and not have that crutch. So let's get to the practice problems. The first one we have is -17 plus -25. This is adding integers with the same signs. So really we can just add those numbers. 17 plus 25 is 42. And then remember, we keep that negative sign, making it -42. I always recommend visualizing the number line. Like, we would start at -17 and go to the left -25, and it makes sense that we would end up somewhere around -42. Moving on to this one, we're adding numbers with different signs, meaning we're going to subtract these two values. So we'll take 58 minus 32, which is 26, and we keep the sign of the larger number. The larger number, 58, is positive, so our answer is positive 26. This again is adding integers with different signs, so we'll subtract again. 49 minus 8 is 41, but here the bigger number is negative, so our answer is -41. The next three problems are subtraction, and remember, our only rule for subtraction is to turn it into an addition problem. So I'm going to do that for all of these. Remember, subtracting a negative really just means adding a positive. Subtracting a positive really means adding a negative. And I'll write that a little bit more clearly. This becomes -20 plus -33. And again, we have a subtracting a negative, so let's make that just a plus sign. So now we're just back to where we were up here. This is just 18 plus 17, which is 35, positive 35. Here we're adding integers with the same signs, so we're going to add these values. 20 plus 33 is 53, and keep that negative sign, making the answer -53. This became -10 plus 30. We're adding integers with different signs here. So we'll subtract. 30 minus 10 is 20, and keep the sign of the bigger number. The 30 is bigger and it's positive, so we keep our answer to be positive 20. Moving on to a couple of application problems. This first one says a shark swims at 45 feet below sea level and swims down another 24 to catch prey. Where does the shark end up? So let's represent this with either addition or subtraction. So if the shark starts out at 45 feet below sea level. It starts out at negative 45. And then it swims down another 24 feet. So that means we either are subtracting 24 from its original starting point, or we could also consider that, remember, as adding negative 24. So we could also represent it as negative 45 plus negative 24. Remember, the only rules that we have are for adding. So in looking at this addition problem, these are the same signs, so we'll add those together. 45 plus 24 is 69. And keep that negative sign. Don't forget to label your answer. And there's your final. Lastly, Julia's bank account has a balance of $23. Then she goes to the store and spends $40 on a new pair of jeans. What is her new account balance? So her account started at $23, and then she spent $40. So we can represent that as taking away $40, spending $40, or starting at 23 and adding a negative $40. Both of those represent this problem, and both of those will give us the same answer. Looking at our addition problem, because that's what we have the rules for, these are different signs, so we'll subtract. 40 minus 23 is 17. Keep the sign of the bigger number, which is negative, and label. All right, so there it is. Remember, these notes are going to be really important for you to refer back to since it has all of the rules on it. So keep these handy and use them to help you on the practice. Good luck.